Remarks of visitors.
Tim Montgomery.
You gonna tell me anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any
Don't forget that.
Any derogatory remarks or foul language towards myself, council members or the city administrator will not be tolerated, and your time to speak would be terminated.
What does that mean, derogatory? I still don't know what that means. If I point out some issues that's free speech doesn't come in here. I understand. Anyway, what I'm here talking about is the leak that we had on the 22nd, October 22nd. I just happened to be driving by. First of all, let me tell you, I've been in the water field since May 26, 1979. I graduated Rankin Tech after 2 years of school in instrumentation and process control. I've been a small businessman since 1992. I pretty much work in a water or wastewater plant almost every day. I've worked on valves from day one, starting out at 72-inch valves, 36-inch valves at the largest wastewater plant in North America up in Chicago. So that saying, I've been in my field for about 43 years. I used to be on the Water Authority. I was actually on the Water Authority for 8 years. I was the president for 6 years when I was taken off the Water Authority for some reason. I still don't know why, because some guys went on the river in a 12-foot pontoon, and I got in trouble for that.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes. Go ahead.
Your request to speak
Yes.
specifically stated that you wanted to talk about the city administrator's explanation of valve failure on the leak in 1022. And that's what you get to talk about. If you continue to ramble about things that happened years ago.
It's not it's I'm giving my background in the water field.
I understand about your background. But
You do?
Once again, you started to talk about
When I was on,
that are not.
I was the president of the Water Authority. I think that's relative, but anyway. So anyway, on the 22nd, I drove by on Mill Street when the contractors did bore through and put a hole in the pipe. I saw the pipe leaking. I called up the water plant. I called up and let them know there's a major leak. Since I'm familiar with the water plant, I let them know, be aware, keep an eye on your levels. And I also called the city dispatch or the police department. And I said, hey, make sure who's ever on call, they need to know that we have a major leak here. We need to come get it fixed. So I went about my business. It was like 10:30 in the morning. About 8 o'clock at night, I'm doing my dishes, and I went to rinse out my sink, and I saw I was totally out of water. The city was totally out of water. I believe that that's the first time the city has ever been out of water, and that people ever remember. I talked with different people who were public works directors, and they said it's never happened. One of the main issues that is involved with the city, especially this particular situation, is there are valves to isolate the leak when you have a leak like that. So what you do, basically, it's common sense. You go and you isolate the leak, you close the valves upper and below it, and you close it off so the guys or whoever can get in there and fix the leak. So I couldn't wait to hear how come we ran out of water. We literally created a vacuum on the system, which potentially could contaminate our water system, because there's a giant vacuum when you keep dropping that water table down, and it draws potentially fecal that are from the leaks that are in the pipe, the water pipe, and the sewer line, that could create that vacuum that sucks in fecal matter into our thing. Also, we were in a cold red with fire because we had been so dry. There was a 3,000-acre fire west of Columbia. So anyway, I went to watch the meeting because I was interested on what the heck happened. And when I'm watching the meeting, Mr. Camps made a statement, confirmed by Chuck, that they had a valve failure of 11 valves failed. And I'm thinking, how the heck can that happen? I don't understand that. Mr. Benz actually brought it up, and Mr. Cook actually brought up some questions of how this could possibly happen. Are we doing maintenance or whatever? These valves are some of the most basic parts of a water system. At Missouri Rural Water, anybody who goes get certified down at the Missouri Rural Water, first thing they learn about is valves. One of the most basic parts of a valve is whatever size valve it is, you multiply, let's say a 6-inch valve, you multiply it times 3, which is 18, plus 2 or 3, that's how many turns it takes to close these valves, to shut them down. So everybody then, when they go to school, like on day one, they learn that. So now we're told that we have 11 valves that have failed. And I'm going, what the heck are you talking about? 11 valves have failed. Did we get a bad batch of valves? What the heck's going on? We've been boring under this street for I don't know how long. And all of a sudden, we have to drain our system. My understanding is that we literally drained the system to fix the leak. We couldn't isolate the leak. I started getting calls from past operators, past people that used to work here, and some people that actually work here. They said this shouldn't have happened. It should have been isolated. I go, well, I don't know. That's what they said, that the valves failed. I've never heard of that. So I'm assuming I know how you look at the clock, but I'm assuming that you contacted the Missouri Rural Water Association and let them know we have 11 faulty valves. All of a sudden come out of nowhere. Hadn't happened, because you don't hear about people run out of water all the time, but it happened here. So now are you going to let them know that, hey, are these faulty valves? Was that a bad group of valves we bought? Was it the manufacturer? Did they have issues? We need to let these other towns know so they can't run out of water, because we didn't have any water for fire protection. And we also created a tremendous strain on the water system. And
Mr. Montgomery, your 5 minutes is up.
my 5 minutes up here, but I'm going to go outside and finish up and explain what's going on here.
Thank you for your
Oh, you're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. You guys, nobody has a question on that. That's what we got right here, City of Festus. That's what we got with you, Sam Richards. So I'm going to finish out here. Thanks. Thanks. Oh, I'm going right here. I'm not going to be loud. So basically, you just saw what happened. They don't want to hear anything. They're not here for the citizens. The city council, nobody asked me a question. They don't represent the citizens of Festus. What they do is they represent themselves. For the first time ever, we ran out of water with the city of Festus. The common factor is that I wasn't able to get to, because they cut me off. I was on the water. Look, Greg Camp's up there laughing. So the other factor that the citizens don't know, it's been over a year since our water system has been, the water plant has been running at full capacity. Because you got Greg Camp, one of the highest paid administrators here, who hired his buddy, Matt Unrein, right there. He came in making more money than Matt Clemens did, who was here for years and years. And these people are responsible for making sure that we don't run out of water. But what happened was we ran out of water because they don't know what they're doing. I had people call. It's very simple. You isolate the leaks. What you do is you close the valve up and below where the leak is, and you isolate it. You do have to call a boiler, but they decided to shut the whole water line down. They shut the water line down, which what happens is when the water table drops down below your house or whoever house, especially up on a hill, it creates a tremendous vacuum on our line. This vacuum, which as the water table drops down, if you can imagine the tremendous pressure being pulled in, that will draw in anywhere that there's a leak on the pipes. It's very common to have leaks on water main lines. And on the sewer line, it's the same thing. Sewer lines leak really bad. There's called infiltration, and where the valves, when we get a rain, you get a lot of the rainwater gets into the sewage lines, which indicates that they're leaking. So what you have is a soup of shit. Okay, you got fecal matter, you got urine, and God knows whatever people flush in the toilet that is going down is being brought into the system, and that's where you call a boil order. But the fact that they said there's 11 valves that failed is ridiculous. These guys are responsible for the water plant. They're responsible for the water system. They make over $100,000. You can see Greg Camp up there. He thinks it's great. I got to say, Greg Camp makes a lot of money here, and my understanding is that they're even trying to sell the water system. Then they don't have any responsibility at all. But anyway, that's what we got here at Festus. Like I said earlier, you used to be able to come to the meeting and speak. You used to fill out there's a table right there inside the door. You used to be able to speak. They took that away. Now you have to jump through hoops to speak at the meeting. They got to know what you're doing, and they could limit you on your free speech. That's America. These people are supposed to be, every one of these people said they agree on the First Amendment whenever they swore to the Constitution. And not one person cares about that. What they care about now is whatever they got going on in their system. So that's what I have to say, and I think it's disgusting. It's Sam Richards, it's Dave Booyer, they all, it's Greg Camp. I can't say anything negative about Jimmy Collier. I don't know anything what he's done or the lady there. And I know Bobby Benz did try to bring up the subject. And I know Mike Cook tried to bring up the subject. But, you know, that's what's going on in Festus. They don't care about the citizens. They care about their salary. And here's the other thing. For the first time, you got a city administrator that doesn't live in this town. He doesn't live in town. So maybe if they required him to live in town like they used to, they would take care of the water as if it was theirs, but they still get their salary. The people were put at risk, and there's Chuck Booyer. He's the foreman that is ultimately responsible for the system. Him, Greg Camp, and Matt Unrein. So anyway, that's my story, and this is just the beginning, because I can't just sit back and let our town, matter of fact, if you look somewhere over here is a picture of the building that used to be here, and that's where we all learned the Constitution, and we learned about history, and we're nowhere there. This has gone to where the citizens don't matter. There's Brian Weiner, he's another one. But that's all I got to say, but I will return. Thank you.